What's happening? It's your boy, Dr. Dominic Stevens, aka the scientist who lives, and back with another episode of Confessions of a Black Scientist. And this week, I want to talk about being the first. The first what? The first black scientist in a lab, or the first black person in a lab or in an environment, which is very, very much common in STEM spaces as you move up or as you move towards your PhD and beyond. Because unless you're, just strictly at HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities, you will be in these spaces where you're the only black person in the room. And I have experienced that quite a bit on my journey, and it's been an interesting journey. So let's talk about it, right? And how do you conduct how do you conduct yourself as a person? And it's hard because you have this feeling of like, man, I have to make sure I don't show my ass for my whole for the culture, for my family, for all of it, because sometimes, because I've been in this position before, sometimes you're the first interaction that a white person or Asian person has with a black person, right? And and honestly, I would just say be yourself, because black people we aren't a monolith. So be yourself. That's the only way to go about it, right? And in all honesty, when you walk into these situations, you also have to be mindful that people who aren't familiar or don't haven't ever experienced blackness or black culture, there's gonna be some. They're gonna say some off shit sometimes, but as long as it's not malicious in any kind of way, honestly, you should use it as a teaching moment. And this is kind of the way I conducted myself as an RA. I use things as teaching moments, right? So I had students who I was their first interaction with a person of color before, and they had questions. So be open to questions. I know it shouldn't be your place to answer these questions, as long as you're comfortable with it, right? If you're comfortable with doing something like this, cool, do it. But if you're not, then don't. But set your boundaries. Set your boundaries on what you are and aren't comfortable with. But sometimes you come in the lab and you aren't that close with them. They're just colleagues, and that's cool too. But sometimes you get a little closer to them, and then you start to tell them about life, your life. So when you come into these situations, because I know for me, I think currently I'm in that current situation, and that looking back at other past like PhD students and postdocs that they had, I'm the first black one that they ever had. And I am more open to talking about my experiences as a black scientist. And I think what's nice about it is that they're willing to listen and they are willing to learn. Because I know, I was in a situation with my PI where he said some stuff on the grant about like my past experiences with my grades and stuff that weren't true, and then I had to actually have a talk with him about it and say, hey, this wasn't true. This is what actually happened, and we had to have this conversation. So I think the thing is, like, when stuff like that, don't get pissed off, don't blow up, don't get mad. Be a little understanding, because understanding is kind of how we bridge the gap between us and them, right? So, and then and to the people who are bringing in, say, a black person for the first time, just know they might, if they come from a background like I come from, where I mostly I grew up around black people, that's it. just know that they might be a little timid. Like I said before, I'm still afraid of white people to this day because they have so much power. It's ridiculous. But just be a little understanding, and just know that you really can't talk to them the way you talk to your other students because like past traumas, like what shit that's going on in the world. The passive aggressiveness doesn't really work with black people. Like at least in my experiences, like we look at you, you're just like, oh, you being passive aggressive, and you're just like, oh, this motherfucker right here. So like just be open minded, be understanding, and those are to the PIs and to like the PhD students, postdocs, all that. Just whatever stereotypes that you might have had or have of black people, just throw them out the window. Just throw them out the window and just get to know the person in front of you, because they are way different than what they portray on TV and what they portray in the media. We are amazing people, inspirational, or inspirationally. I don't know. I probably fucked that up if I'm being completely honest. But listen, we're amazing. So get to know us a little bit. We're not a monolith. If you're in a situation like I am, just be patient. Sometimes it takes people a little bit longer to catch on, but be patient with them, and that's really how you really just conduct yourself in the lab. Just get your work done. Show them that you belong here, because you do belong here, and be awesome. But listen, that's all the time I got for you guys this week. See you guys on another episode of Confessions of a Black Scientist. Peace.